Do I have something for you here today? You know what? I've been trying to get this lady in front of my Zoom for about, I don't know, must be at least 6 to 8 weeks, and just trying to get it in because of how busy she is in transition in the world of sales. And this, we all go on about sales, the need for sales. We want sales, we should have sales, and so on and so on. But the lady I have in front of me, I mean, Sandy Hart, who's all heart. Sandy Hart, who's all heart. And we have a bit of a turbulent connection here today. Actually, it's been turbulent for about 2 weeks because I'm so far in the country, I've not got landline. So everything here is done by a little dish on a house, But so what are we going to share today? We got about 10 to 15 minutes, and we're going to power into the true authenticity of what a sale is. Now, I'm stoked to have you on, Sandy. And first of all, where are you zooming from today?
Well, thank you, Paul. Good morning from Banff area, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Wow. No, I love the Canadians, okay? Oh, I love being out in Canada because it's such a they're very managed. Canadians like to manage themselves. And there's like a proper way to be, I guess. Because I
we apologize more than anyone else on the planet.
It's like I remember we used to go on tour. They said, "Listen, you don't have to apologize. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good." But let me just get into this, because here's the thing: your business is Sales Excellent Elite. Sales Excellent Elite, and you started this because of the lack of integrity you experience in sales within what is and now you don't call it estate agents, you call it
real estate.
Real estate.
It's real estate over here, yes. But it is estate. It's the same thing. Real estate. So the difference in Canada, or the mindset is we have a lot of mobile homes and movable assets versus the real estate, which is the land. That's where the name came from. Yeah.
Wow. And you use something I learned about I understood about real estate over the years was, if you're in it, you're generally a very rich individual. Now,
well, the average, the statistic, Paul, is that 90% of new real estate agents or estate agents leave the industry in their first 2 years.
Wow.
Therefore, if you are in real estate, you tend to be a definitely ambitious human, and if you make it, you tend to make it fairly good. But it's still the top 20% make 80% of the sales.
Wow.
So
would it be fair to say then, if you're the top 20%, you are good at any form of sale?
So I am going to challenge good. Because there are great people and great agents. And then there are some agents, and this is part of why I'm kicking up dust. And it's not only real estate. I serve all leader entrepreneurs, but in real estate specifically, there are some very aggressive, non-integral top leaders. And they are top leaders because of the illusion through marketing that the world believes that they sell the most, which they may, but that doesn't make them the best at what they do. That just makes them the most well paid.
Now, I'm a big believer in karma. Especially in business. I'm a big believer in karma in business, and also because of that, I'm being conscious of how I sell. And I put a lot of integrity behind what I sell. No, it's not just about, doing good for your client or customer, but also doing good for yourself. Meaning that if you create a sale, then that sale has to be a win-win for both people. And I believe there are lots of different shapes to sale. And I've got these written down because I believe a heart sale is what creates a growth sale. So a heart sale means that you both are growing from an exchange of gratitude, which is money. Then there's a money sale. Now, a money sale can, as long as it's got integrity, at the end of the day, if we purchase a car, we're going to pay for a car. There's a money sale. It's very different to a service sale. So we could say that. And then we could say those who are making their way through business, and there's a desperate sale. Now, a desperate sale can be, I'm going to give you massive reductions. I'm going to give you loads of discount. That's a desperate sale. Then, of course, we have the ego sale. Now, I put this on the bottom of my list, but yet that can be the most successful short term, I'm going to say, in any market, which is, you are going to sell to me. You're going to pay for me no matter what. I have no care about where you are financially. I no care about where you are in life. And I actually am proud that I can create sales that I have this extravagant sale ticket on there, regardless of what anybody else feels, which gives me a profit at the end of the year of tens of millions. And so what? They paid for it. They are too bad. Now, that's an ego sale. Now, that often, those sales, I believe what happens is they'll go through surges because the more that you can camouflage your character, well, generally there's not a character there. The more you can create an attitude in sustaining those, then the longer it may go, but the bigger the fall. Because the universe will always come back in and take what rightfully is emotionally not yours. And if you have a measure within a sale, within an ego sale that's perhaps 80%, too bad, you've paid for it, I've made a profit on it, and it's your doing for paying for it, then somewhere that 80% has got to be given back.
I love this. This is why we're having this conversation, because inevitably those people lose. They don't see it. They live this life, they're afraid of lawyers. They live in this watching their back kind of life.
Wow.
And then we watch them shrink into retirement or whatever, even if they perceive to be successful.
Yeah.
They just don't get the heart in win-win or no deal.
Yeah.
And that, and the universe, exactly what you said, keeps score and takes it away. And that whole, the ultimate failure is success without fulfillment. So if you're not proud every single day of the fact that sales is actually just the bridge between people and their dreams, and if they don't pay and invest, they don't get what they're here to get out of it. So you're doing them a sacred service, not taking. But there are so many that don't see that. They just completely live in that. If they say this, I say that. And there's so many coaches, and like yourself, that's here's the formula. You say this, and you get them to, if you get them to say 4 yeses, you're guaranteed a sale. So ask them if they enjoy the mountains, and they say yes. Ask them, and then the natural. And this is like, psychological, and it just like, oh dear.
Brutal. That's brutal on the manipulation of what is really the authenticity of showing gratitude to each other. And again, we are shifting into a different, I'm going to say different set mind now within sales, where people don't just get sold to the way they used to. And I believe those easy sales are reducing. And there's a higher now rate of manipulation in order to sustain what we call is the ego money sale. I believe that is happening on a global sense. That is going on now. And when we look into real estate, it's only a matter of time before the whole industry gets calmer, as is now, we could say, the solicitors in this country are getting calmer because they charge so much. Now you go online, you can get a solicitor for 2 to a penny, and it's dramatically cheaper. And that is going throughout so many industries. Even the accounting industry is getting stung now because it's been overpriced. The coaching industry was overpriced for so many years, and it was crazy overpriced. Now, finally, the coaching industry is now being stung, where the days of high tickets are effectively gone, thankfully. And you've got to be authentic now to have an invoice rate of that kind of rate that used to be years ago. But then, Sandy, you must have a target on your back, girl. And I'm saying this because you're going into an industry and you're saying, boom, 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 boom. You're all ego sales. Bless you.
Calling out, thank you. And yes, it's industry. It's interesting because with wisdom comes the I don't give a damn. if you don't like me because I'm calling you out on being a jerk. And so for me, I am not a cruel human. I don't walk into a room and point at people. I don't do that. But I'm on ethics committees and, in the real estate industry. But it's what I'm finding is it's so in the sales, the word sales, the reputation of the word sales has the heart-centered true entrepreneur shrinking because of and it's so far from like car salesmen, right? They have a 3% trust rate, real estate agents in Canada. I know. And in Canada and the Australia, real estate agents have 11%. In the US, it's 14%. And in the UK, it's 19% of the people feel trust when polled around real estate. But there's far worse politicians, there's less trust. And in an emotional economy, which you were just speaking to, the world has woken up to the EQ over the IQ.
Yeah.
And if you don't hear me and you don't care about me, I'm not buying from you. I don't care what you're selling.
Wow.
And that is starting to become the norm. And as the consumer awakens, then we keep up, or you're gonna get knocked out.
I tell you, it's to you those numbers where the trust of a car salesperson is 3%. It's like 97% of that person then is unauthentic, claiming to this calculation here.
Of that industry, Paul, of that industry. So so I have personally had an incredible experience with more than one car salesperson.
Yeah.
So like you, very empathic and very really hone into, do you hear me? Are you interested in what's best for me? Yeah. And so there are great in every industry, but there's so many more of the lower, that gotta, exactly what you were speaking to, that desperate sale.
Yeah.
And partly, and it's the way we're rewarded, because humans are motivated by different things. Yeah. And whether it's money, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's recognition, those are the motivators, the main ones.
Wow.
At the end of the day, and this is the gold that every entrepreneur needs to know, is in general, men want to feel, and this is the economy, the new emotional, respected. And so money and recognition tend to make them feel respected, that people see them as successful. Women want to feel appreciated. So women tend to be a little bit more on the recognition and the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So when we're feeding and seeding, those are two really huge things to keep in mind.
I mean, Sandy, for you to be appreciated and invited, I'm guessing that it generally would be the forward-thinking business that would invite you into their business to deliver what is the Sales Elite Accelerator, which is your product. Do you get a lot of pushback in the sense of, pushing out your product where it doesn't get an invite because basically you're saying, I'm going to come in and guess what? You're going to lose sales because I'm going to replace that with authentic sales. Because you organically, when you start making things more authentic, like the heart sale, there'll be a measure that just falls off the radar for whether it's telesales or whatever, it's the measure that falls off.
Yes, and it's perfect, because that's the sprint versus the marathon mentality. And I, of course, tend to attract the authentic. So the first broker that I ever worked for, he was definitely good old boys. As a matter of fact, I grew up in a family of masons where my grandfather was a grand mason, and I went into the Job's Daughters, And I mean, it's pretty clear that if you're part of that, you deal with that person regardless, right?
Yeah.
And so in a tiny town where I came into, and of course I'm this, I went into Job's Daughters and I went, I'm not chanting, no, thank you. You need to talk to
We froze.
the world in general, but you can't fool me because I know what it is.
Yeah.
And I have been kicking up dust for a while. So I left that brokerage and opened my Remax brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
And in literally 5 months, under 5 months, I had 58% of the market share. And only because I left on a point of honor, and it was never in an aggressive, I'm going to show you. It was, there's a better way. And the sunshine needs to come into this whole industry. And so there were 2 other offices in my town, and within not very long, you know, I ended up with 89% literally of the market share in my Remax, because we were all about service. It was, everything was about, you know, that customer centric. And I chose Remax because of Dave Linegar's, first of all, everybody wins. A thought, and now the whole industry has followed that, so that, you know, top agents pay a desk fee per se, and then they keep their commissions. But the one that actually got me was, he said, everybody carries the boxes.
That's cool, eh?
And I had come from, and in that brokerage, the secretary was not treated the same as the salespeople that were bringing the money in. And to the point where, you know, I saw secretaries in tears because they were treated so badly. And I was just not okay with that at all. So then I, of course, the little rebel redhead that I was born, I'm like, excuse me, I'm calling this out, because every human is equal in soul. And there's just,
And I love that, because you bring that equality through everything that eventually pops out your pipeline as, okay, sales, and sales have to be, you know, when we think about how we're moving forward, how the business world is moving forward, you're right, there is certainly a surge on a greater, I say a greater injection into customer service. I mean, some countries like the States have always been big on customer service, but also there is a you know, an invisible background there, where there's also, you know, there's a lot of price on a lot in America. So in a sense of there's a lot of, I'm going to say, ego sales there also, and it's camouflage, because you can camouflage that by having this synthetic customer service, which is, wow, that felt good, I paid more, but it's okay, because it was this. So, you know, there is that other side also, where you can camouflage ego sales behind customer service. But then, is that okay because we're getting good customer service, or are they just created this synthetic, you know, pantomime that goes on? When you walk in, you have severe exaggeration of what the service is, which then almost feels like it's not real, and then you're paying not real prices also.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, honestly, it comes down to, is it okay? It's okay if the buyer matches that energy. And I mean, I certainly know buyers that are all about what it looks like instead of what it feels like. Okay. And they're real. So if you've got, you know, the over exaggerated XYZ, there's definitely a market for that. And there's people. And again, it just comes down to that win-win or no deal. So matching, you know, people and what matters to them. And we were talking about this before we started recording, of listening to your client. What is it that what matters to them? Because what matters to you, Paul, and what matters to me probably aren't the exact same thing. So how dare I be so arrogant as to assume what it is that you want when I haven't asked you the questions that really
extract. Thinking about your Sales Elite Accelerator, is there a website?
There is. It's being built. I actually have the course. I've got clients going through it that are just experiencing the best results. And yes, I just actually pulled back and switched to a new web
Provider.
provider. Yes.
That's the one, girl.
It's coming, and I will share. It's so exciting, all the things that are coming, Paul.
So here's what I want to do is, Sandy, people can find you on LinkedIn because I've seen you on there. So Sandy Hart on LinkedIn. Is there anywhere else, any other platforms we can find you on?
I am on Facebook, absolutely, and then I certainly have my I'm out there, but LinkedIn is my main. And
yeah. So the sales, Elite Accelerator, does that get delivered remotely?
So that one it's a hybrid. It is an actual course, but I do have. So one of the things that I love to share is there are 11 C's to catapult sales. Oh, wow. And with authenticity and heart. And of those, just to share 3 quickly, and I share these with Dan Sullivan, has 4 C's that he talks about. And the first C is commitment. What are you committed to? Are you committed to comfort, or are you committed to a vision of something bigger, like what you do, your legacy, building something that really matters in this world? Mm-hmm. And if you're committed to that, then you will find the courage to go out there and do what we're doing and put ourselves out to the world to say, you know what, we're kicking up some dust. This world needs to wake up and see that there's a better way and there's a better model. And then the competency to deliver what it is that you promise. Okay. Absolutely make sure that you're forever expanding your own personal and professional development. And then into tomorrow's training with Lee would be the number 4, and that is Sandra Dee's expertise, and it's just magical when a person starts to accept. And so my acronym C, and then the 11 C's. So that is something that I love to share for absolutely free, just to kind of test the water and see how it all feels. So that's share the link with you,
Sandy Hart. With the heartfelt sales lady, we're with the heartfelt sales lady right now. Sandy Hart has been fantastic. Thank you so much for doing an early morning call from your part of the world, and I'm going to say an early evening call from my part of the world. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to putting this out there, because it creates a shape on what sales should be. And I think people are still lost in our world somewhere, especially in the SME world, from the business people selling to the customers buying. I think there is a loss there somewhere. So thank you so much. We will pick this up, I'm sure, and we'll jump. I'll reach out to you a couple of months from now and say what's going on in the sales world. It has been fantastic. So don't forget that Sandy is there on all you people picking this up today. Sandy is out there on LinkedIn. Do reach out to her, and I will drop any details below this video for you to get hold of Sandy. She'll give them 2 minutes, put those in. Happy days. And we're going to say, Sandy, if there was one tiny piece of advice to give to giving a good sale, what do you think that would be?
Oh my goodness, it would be to exercise curiosity. Be really curious, ask a lot of questions, and really listen to what it is that your potential client has to say. And feel, we talked about this as well, just slow down in the chaos world that we live in and feel into what they're feeling, and know that you really are the bridge, and just slow it down and don't make it about you, because if it's about you and not the client, that's where the disconnect comes in. So it's very much authentic selling is really about bridging their pain and their solution, and you've got everything they need. Just slow it down and paint them a picture of what it looks like at the end of working with you. And that is what selling is. There's not a he said this, she said that, this is what you do here. It really is ask, and there's an onboarding set of questions that we of course provide, and things that, so credentials is one of the things, one of the C's is to give your credentials, because why would people listen to you? And for me, I went in a tiny northern town of British Columbia of under 5,000 people. I was number 14 out of 6,600
Wow.
RE/MAX agents. And I had no concept whatsoever that there was something special about how I did sales with authenticity and that total service centric, until, you know, later you do the math and that's 0.002, top 0.002% of RE/MAX of Western Canada. And so then I've seen the brokers and the different people that I respected get pulled into the aggressive, you know, egocentric sales world of the top performers, and it breaks my heart because they were really good people, and now they believe that it's okay to be a jerk. And I mean, between agents and everything else, that the fights and the wars. So
Wow.
so just be curious.
It's like a sales war zone. It's crazy. You know, Sandy Hart, the heartfelt sales lady from Sales Executive, Sales Excellence Elite. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's been much appreciated. And, you know, here we go. So what we got out of this today is that a sale isn't about buying or purchasing. A sale is an exchange of commonalities, an exchange of emotional commonalities that somebody realizes that they may have the best commonality that will fit a upgrade in your life. Because a sale should always be an upgrade in our life. That's what it should be. And it shouldn't be at the cost of actually that upgrade becoming paused because we can't enjoy it because it costs so much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This is why we're...
Happy days. And thank you, Sandy. It was much appreciated. And I'm going to say to all these people watching, okay, remember to subscribe and like and all those beautiful things. And I will catch you very soon with another Think Leader. Happy days. See you now and boom. Bye for now.